Hi everyone, my name is Elena Huntley, and today I will be discussing some recent legislation that allows surgical castration for convicted rapists. So this is really specifically for rapists that commit sexual crimes against minors, by the way. So it's kind of controversial because it raises questions about our criminal justice system, human rights, and deterrence. And I think it's better to look at both sides before deciding whether the punishment should be truly fair and effective. So let's start off with the surgical castration. Basically, some people believe that this measure could serve as a strong deterrent for possible future offenses. So it could prevent any other rapists from doing this crime repeatedly. And so they can think twice before acting. And then in addition, some may argue that if they don't get this surgical medical procedure done on them, that they will keep continuing to do these things and it'll only get worse. Some people also see it as a form of justice for the victims. They argue that rape is one of the most violating crimes a person can really go through. It affects you mentally, physically, and emotionally, and that punishment should reflect the severity of the trauma that the victim has faced. On the other hand, some people say that this violates the 8th Amendment, and it prohibits cruel and unusual punishment. So basically, doing this procedure really takes away the human rights of the person, whether they are an offender or if they've been offended. It also raises question about the body and the autonomy, whether the state has the moral right to permanently alter someone's body as punishment without someone's consent. And another thing, sexual assault is not always about sexual desire. It's about power, it's about control, and it's about aggression. Most cases, there are people being raped for power, for money, for love, for lust, etc. But it can go either way with this. And there's also an issue of consent, obviously. Some people are just not willing to take the answer no. So to conclude, I do believe overall that this surgical castration does cross the line of cruel punishment, so I don't think it's justified. It is a very, very strong punishment for such horrific crimes. I'm not going to justify their crimes or anything, but I will say that, again, it does cross the line of cruel punishment, and it doesn't really address the root of sexual violence. Yes, they use their body parts to commit these crimes, and they do that while doing so, but then again, the context of it, that's just what they're using and not the intent behind it. I instead think that more educators should be out there in promoting awareness. People should go to rehab, get into intervention camps, all that stuff, and really address mental health and behavior, because a lot of it has to do with why we're doing these things and how our brain is rooted. And then this really just, overall, it really just reminds us that the justice system has to balance accountability and human decency, even when dealing with serious crimes such as rape, murder, etc. Thank you.